Hi everyone, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for visiting with me today. So in this video, I wanted to go over some points in the Jenn Soto police interview where the state attorney is present. It's not the video. There is a video interview, at least one, where she is at the police department being interviewed. I haven't gotten that yet. Grizzly has it on her channel, Grizzly True Crime, so go check it out there. But once I do get that, I'll probably go over points of that also. Now, this video, the only reason I'm going to go over certain points of it is because it's over an hour long, and we'd end up sitting here for a long time. So I only want to go over certain parts of it. So let me find the first part I want to talk about, and we'll go over it, okay?
Now, if your daughter had been awake, would she come in and say goodbye to you before school or not? Just let you sleep?
I would have hoped she would have come by and say goodbye to me.
Why can't she answer that question? It would have been the last time she saw or heard her child.
I can't remember if this is one of the first times that Stefan actually took her to school, so I would have hoped she would have said good night, but I'm not sure.
All right. So do you?
Not to be judgy, but how can she not remember that? Okay. I just wanted to point that out. If any of y'all have any thoughts on that situation, let me know.
At this point, I'm not too sure. I know throughout the day I've seen my roommate in the kitchen cooking and doing her thing, but I don't recall if it was at this time.
Did you see your daughter this morning on the 26th?
No.
Did you have any texts or?
So, and I'm sure this has been discussed in other videos, and I'm sure the police are past this by this point. By April 18th, I'm sure they're past this. But, you know, she said before that she saw her in the morning. She saw her, then she didn't see her. Then I don't know how much weight they put on that. Her attorney, let me play back that one part. Hold on. With her attorney. Because, you know, attorneys are going to say what they're going to say.
Buried in your attorney's yard?
So this is, her attorney is about to talk to the police officer or the investigator, the detective in here in a second.
We couldn't go dig up that gun if he told us that, oh yeah, there's the gun that was used is right there. We wouldn't be able to do that. We would have to show that we learned all those things independently from this interview. Okay? Do you have any questions? All right, so let's get started.
But before you start, let me just make sure we're clear on the record. I had, off the record, we had discussed our position on the concerns we had. Ms. Soto was interrogated by law enforcement previously. She was under a tremendous amount of duress and stress, being that her child was missing, and then
she never seemed to me like she was under any kind of stress or duress at all. She seemed calm through it all. Maybe that's just her nature. I'm pretty calm, and I would be losing my mind. She, like when the police officer went to her mom's office to get the initial report, and she's, you know, talking about Madeline and describing her and everything, she's so calm. She's not even like, you know, squeezing her palms or nervous or anything. She's just la-di-da, you know, very matter of fact. And maybe I just watch body language readers too much, but it was odd. And also when that happened, and anytime the police officer would ask a question about Madeline, like what she was wearing or whatever, butthole Stefan would chime in, and I just wanted to punch him. Like, yeah, I know you know the answer, but I still don't want you to talk about her. How dare you keep her name out your mouth? Okay, let's finish with the lawyer's statement, then I'll go back to where I was.
was found deceased. There's been media hysteria about this. There's been people asking for her to be prosecuted, tarred, feathered, executed. And so with that said, we have the concern that you brought up about if there's something said inconsistent today, not being used against her for filing a false police report.
All right. So, for example, if she said something that was false then, and we have no idea that it was false now before this interview, but she comes in and admits that it was false today, we can't use these statements or that admission that it was false against her, just like we couldn't use anything else against her from this interview.
Okay.
So a lot of people fault her for getting an attorney. I don't have a problem with her getting an attorney. I think that people should always have an attorney if it's possible. They should always have an attorney on retainer at all times if it's financially possible. Because attorneys, as useless as they seem to some, they are useful. But I don't fault her for getting an attorney. It's a smart move, in my opinion. It's not an admission of any kind of guilt. Now, do I think she's guilty of something? I think she knew something, or she suspected something, or somewhere in her crazy brain, she just swept it under the rug and pretended like it wasn't happening. She was turning a blind eye to it. But she knew somewhere inside of her soul, she knew that that animal was hurting her child. She knew it. And she let it happen. And instead of stopping it, she's one of those women that need a man so bad in her life that she just swept it under the rug. Just, pretend like it's not happening, and it's not happening. If I close my eyes, you can't see me. That's what I think. Now, I didn't always think that. And I don't want to be one of those tar and featherers. I'm not like that, but I definitely, I just, and the roommates too, I would really love to know what they thought too. I'd really love to know what they thought about all this. All right, let me go back to where I was.
Folder waiting for me to leave.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to kind of jump ahead. Did Madeline ever complain to you about believing that Stefan had taken her Christmas money?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Christmas money went missing. And we were both, I don't even know how to explain that. We had collected all of her envelopes of Christmas money and consolidated it to one. I'll put all her money into one.
Yep.
And then I said, I will put this somewhere safe. And I thought I had to put it in my nightstand. A few days later comes around, whatever. We start looking for it or asking for it or something like that. And we can't find it. We can't find it at all.
So let me just narrow it down. Did she accuse Stefan of taking it?
I'm not sure if she did directly. We both had the suspicion, but we're like, no, could he have? No, I don't think so. But I eventually found that money.
Okay, I was just going to have the mystery. All right. So you had just started this job at Disney Coronado Springs like a week or two earlier, is that right?
Yes.
And your sister and other family members would help with Maddie getting to school because of your job?
Yes, my mom, my sister, yes.
Okay. Why is it that now Stefan on February 26th is coming up to help as opposed to any of your family members helping get Madeline to school?
That's a very good question.
I had asked for him to come and help me because I think I was working a lot of night shifts or like really late shifts. And I just wanted the opportunity to see Maddie, because I wanted to spend more time with my daughter throughout the week while I was working, versus had she had stayed at my mom's, I wouldn't have seen her all week. So that was just me wanting to see her and spend time with her.
I don't know if I believe that because she got off at 10, got home about 10:30, and then Madeline went to bed at 11. And this was the first time he'd been back like he'd visited, I think she said 2 or 3 times before, but she just needed him to come help her this go around. I don't know. It's not adding up to me. So let me know what you think.
Madeline stay at your mom's house fairly frequently?
Every few weekends here and there, like just for the weekend kind of thing.
So like if she described it to her friends as like her second home and like kind of offer up it's better jacuzzi and pool, does that sound like that's the place?
Yes.
Where does Madeline sleep when she's over at your mom's?
She will sleep in bed with my mom.
Okay. Did she ever have sleepovers? Like have friends come over and sleep over?
Slumber parties, no.
Did she ever go and attend any?
No.
Is there any particular reason? I mean, she's a 12-year-old girl on the cusp of being 13.
Yeah. I've been very uncomfortable with sleepovers just because I know what can happen. Anything.
And it is April 18th, 2024. I am William.
Good
I'm the division chief for the homicide unit. With me is Danielle.
Hold on.
Also from the homicide unit in Kissimmee. Can the detectives identify themselves? Detective Mark.
I've got to pause for a minute because Django stepped on the computer and started the whole interview over again. Django, I love you. Yes, I do. I love you so much.
Just because I know what can happen. Anything can happen in a sleepover.
Well, then you can be the host house like we kind of were. You never hosted any sleepovers for her friends?
For her friends, no.
Did she ask about it?
Yeah, she did ask.
Was it probably a source of contention or arguments?
It was, I guess, what was the source of argument was her and she wanted to really sleep over her best friend's house, and I just kept saying, no, you never know what could happen. I don't know the dad, I don't know the brother, I don't know anybody. They're like, I don't know what could happen to you. So.
Did Madeline do her own laundry?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Really sleep over her best friend's house. I just kept saying, no, you never know what could happen. I don't know the dad, I don't know the brother, I don't know anybody. They're like, I don't know what could happen to you. So, just afraid of her getting assaulted.
You heard that right. She's afraid of Maddie getting assaulted. No, Django? Bro. Don't step on that. Oh my God. Okay. It's a very serious. I'm sorry. Yeah, she's afraid of Maddie getting assaulted by her best friend's dad or brother or something. Mom's boyfriend has been doing it for years. This woman is just a winner. You know, and I know there are some people that don't want me to go after her and like that I haven't really gone hard on her, but this interview and then the piece I saw of the interview I was watching Grizzly True Crime watch earlier, this woman is getting on my nerves now.
We get ready for bed. I give her medication.
It seems like she's showing some kind of emotion right now, which I don't want to go at somebody too hard for not showing emotion or not showing emotion the way I would do it, because we all know everybody is different. I've reacted to really horrible things very calmly and very minor things very hysterically. And, you know, like when Marshall was diagnosed with cancer, I cried and cried and cried, and Eric just kind of got quiet. It's, you know, you can't, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to play the devil's advocate for a minute. It doesn't matter what Jenn Soto's reaction was or how she behaved. People are going to criticize her and say, she did it, she's guilty, she's responsible for this. And I'm not saying she's not. I believe that she's responsible for this at some, to some degree. But You know, if she was crying during a police interview, they'd say she's overacting, or nobody would act like that. They'd be calm. They'd want their daughter found. Or if she, you know, was not helpful at all, they, you know, have something to say about that. It just, however someone reacts is the wrong way to react as far as society is concerned. And then they always say, well, if they would have acted this way, I would be more compassionate. Like, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. It is human nature to judge the mother. And don't come at me. It is. People like to go after the mother of children. And I understand why that is. There is a reason for that, Susan Smith, Casey Anthony. I understand that. But, and I don't think Jenn Soto is doing much to you know, rectify the situation. But there's no way she could react that would be acceptable to society. You know what I'm trying to say? Okay.
Get in the shower.
Take a long shower, I understand.
Like an hour plus, yeah.
Okay.
She loved it.
In the shower?
She'd get out. She kept
I wonder if she's in the shower, like, disassociating, or, you know what I mean? I mean, I could spend an hour in the shower too if the hot water would last that long.
dressed. She let her hair towel dry for a while, and then she would brush it. We would watch some TV. She'd probably have a snack before bed as well.
Okay. What were kind of her nighttime uniforms? I mean, everybody kind of had the pajamas, but they're not necessarily pajamas. What was her routine nightwear?
She really liked wearing shorts. So she had a few pajama outfits, but she really liked wearing shorts and baggy t-shirts.
Okay. How about her routine getting ready for school in the morning? What's that about?
We'd wake up. The alarm would start ringing around 7:30. We'd snooze it up until 8 o'clock. Then she'd get up. She'd get dressed. And then she'd lay back down in bed while she would wait for me to make her breakfast.
So she's a breakfast eater? Okay.
She'd have breakfast. Then she would start, with brushing her hair, brushing her teeth, putting on makeup. I would give her ADHD medications for school.
Is that every day or just school days? So it sounds like you're heading out like 8:45 or 9?
Yes.
And it takes like, what'd you say, 15, 20 minutes to get to school?
Yes.
And first bell's 9:38?
9:20.
Okay.
9:20, yeah.
So on Monday the 26th, 7:30 seems like a really early time to depart to go to middle school, even if you're getting Mickey D's. What was the discussion about when Stefan?
I thought that too. I thought that's really early in the morning if she doesn't have to be at school until closer to 9. Because I've got no interest in getting up that early, even now in adulthood. That's why I like making my own hours. And I'm a morning person when I'm at Disney.
And Madeline were going to leave on the 26th.
There wasn't one.
So you didn't know anything about these plans, or did you?
I knew that they were going to go to McDonald's, but not 7 o'clock in the morning. That wasn't. I had assumed like 8 o'clock. But even then, 8 o'clock was kind of early, like 8:30, because you could just go to McDonald's, be done by 9, and then drop her off at school. Because McDonald's is right the block away from the school. So
And Madeline's not driving, so she can eat while she's riding.
yeah.
It takes about an hour.
Kittens are adorable, but I'm getting over the cuteness pretty fast around here.
Or to get ready in the morning?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
So if they were leaving at 7:30, you'd think she'd have to get up at 6:30 to get ready and go through.
Look at you, Alan. You're just laying there like a good boy, like my handsome boy. You're such an angel. Django is a bit of a handful. Alan is an angel. I love them both equally.
Routine, right?
Yeah, it's extremely early.
And is that what Stefan told you after these events unfolded? Was that they left early, like 7:30? What did he ever tell you?
That is just super early. And when she went to pick her up and she didn't show up, she wasn't there to be picked up, I would have immediately, I think, I can't say for certain, but I think I would think back to how early they left and be like, what did he do to her? You know? And I think a lot of people out there would think that. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, I can't say for certain what I would think, but I'd like to think that I would be suspicious of him. So I'm suspicious of a lot of people. I don't know.
It was early. I can't remember the time. I think I dropped her off in front of her school sometime between 8:15 and 8:45.
You say I. What do you mean by that? Did you drop her off that
No,
morning?
I'm speaking, sorry. And,
Okay.
as was Stefan was telling me. Stefan let me know that he dropped her off sometime between 8:15 and 8:45 on the road by the church close to her school.
See, that doesn't work out either because they left the house. What did he say originally? Like 7:30, but he's dropping, and the school's like 15 minutes away, and he's dropping her off at 8:30 and between 8:30 and 8:45, and she didn't want McDonald's, so they ended up not going to McDonald's. And he did go back to the house to allegedly get his clicker while Maddie was still in the car. I don't know. I mean, we all know what happened. Obviously, we all know what happened, but I just can't believe it took so long to charge this guy. But I mean, I know the police got to do their work. They want to have a solid case because we all remember what happened with Casey Anthony. We all remember that. No justice for that poor little girl. We all know her mom did it, but like, you know, Jamie Foxx said in that one movie, it doesn't matter what you know, it matters what you can prove in a court of law, and they didn't prove it. And they didn't want that to happen with this guy. And I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember asking him, why so early? That's too early. School doesn't start until 9:30. Why did you drop her off that early? Oh, I don't know. We just left the house. I made good time. I wasn't paying attention to the clock.
Okay. Did Madeline ever have like effects from taking the hydroxyzine in the morning? Like still be kind of sluggish?
Yes.
How often would that occur? Was that like every morning or not every morning?
Not every morning. If we have.
Okay, so I have hydroxyzine. It's pretty much like Benadryl. I take it as needed. I've been sleeping really good for about a year now. I've been sleeping fairly good. I've had a few sleepless nights, but I haven't even been taking my other sleeping medicine. But when I'm really feeling anxious, I take my regular sleeping medicine and the hydroxyzine, and it knocks me out good. So that's important because I want you to listen to this part.
Happen to give her medication later than normal than routine, that would happen. But
Okay. And were there ever any instances where she had taken too much of medicine? Perhaps you and Stefan had given her medicine, not knowing that the other person had?
yes, that's happened
How many?
before.
Just once or more?
I would say one.
I think maybe she knows about one time, but he's double dosed her more than once. I believe to do some of the things he was doing to her. I think she would have had to been knocked out for that. And I'm not going to get into it, but it's something I would have to be knocked out for. That's for sure. So, I don't know. I think maybe he tested the waters by saying, "Oh, I accidentally gave her too much medicine, or I gave her another dose, or whatever." I take half of one pill, and I'm not sure. I don't remember what the dosage is, but I like break it in half, and that's enough for me. And Maddie's half my size, So
Were you taking medicinal marijuana in pill form at any point, or THC?
Yes.
And what do those pills or tablets or capsules look like?
They're purple capsules.
Did you ever suspect or confront Stefan about giving those medications to Madeline?
No.
So during this incident where Madeline had been double dosed with hydroxyzine, do you recall any conversation you had with Stefan and inquiring as to whether or not he had accidentally given her any of your THC?
That hadn't occurred to me. I had asked him the one morning Maddie wouldn't wake up and get ready for school, and she was just out of it. I assumed it was medication related, but I didn't really, I'm like, did this one medication hit her too hard because we gave it to her late? I called poison control. I needed to see what would happen. Because at this point, I think I had got Stefan to admit that he gave her a second dose of the sleeping med as well, because he thought I had given it to her in the first place.
Okay.
But that was with hydroxyzine. I didn't know anything about THC, the marijuana.
I'm just asking you.
Oh,
I'm asking if you remember having that conversation. If there is a conversation on your phone about you were relaying that Madeline said that she suspected that it was different, bigger pills, and you relayed that to Stefan and had a conversation with him. And if you don't remember it because it was a year ago, it's fine. My next question is, you have two female roommates?
yes,
And one of them has a a son that sleeps part-time over there?
yes.
So my understanding is they're kind of, it's like I don't know what to call it, a bed and breakfast. There's numbers on the doors upstairs.
I don't know. I just, to make it easier for the roommates, I just labeled each bedroom.
So they're in 2 and 3.
Yeah.
All right. Now, bedroom number 4. At one point, you told the police that your sister was staying with you, and that's why the sleeping arrangements were as they were. Was your sister ever staying with you, or did I misunderstand what you said?
No, my sister wasn't saying anything.
Okay. So let me ask you this. At what point did Madeline's bedroom kind of become the living room? When did that setup start?
I think as soon as a few months into us moving back into that townhouse.
And when would that have been?
why can't she answer that question? There's a really weird situation coming up soon in this video. Question.
Let's see, June of sometime in 2022, but I'm not sure when.
Okay. It's my understanding that it's December of 2022 that you and Stefan kind of break up,
Yes,
but he still remains in the townhome.
yes.
Why is that?
So even though you're broken up, I still consider him one of my best friends. I wanted to give him the opportunity to live there, and he had gotten a job at Disney and was doing well.
Okay.
And I didn't want him to continue to lose that because he'd been struggling for a long time to get a job or do anything with his own mental health issues.
Okay.
So I just wanted to give him a chance to like do something, be something. So
Did he pay rent?
yes,
How much rent did he pay?
$600 a month.
All right. No footsies. Like a little bit. So in December of 2022, kind of when the breakup happens, prior to that, what were the sleeping arrangements in your home? Was he sleeping in your bedroom as a couple?
Yes.
So who's in bedroom number 4, if anybody?
I think that room remained empty for a while. For a little bit, there was another roommate there, but it remained empty for the most part.
And were your female roommates already there in 2 and 3?
Yes.
Why doesn't Madeline have that bedroom 4?
I wanted her to have bedroom 4, but my dad really wanted rent. That whole unit that I live in is owned by my father.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you pay your father anything to live there, or does he just handle the collecting the rent from your rentees, lessees, whatever they are?
I pay him rent as well.
Okay. What do you pay for the rent?
My portion of the rent was $400 a month.
All right. And what did the 2 female roommates pay?
$850 and $650.
Prior to Madeline having her own bedroom set up in the living room, where was she sleeping in that townhome?
In my bed with me.
Okay. And this is during a time frame when you were together with Stefan, so is it the 3 of you every night?
Well, when we had first moved in, it was just me and Maddie, so it was just me and her on the bed. Then I think we eventually got her own bedroom. Stefan moves in eventually, and then then at that point, it does become the 3 of us on the bed.
So Madeline's 12, and she has her own bedroom. And how often is she sleeping in her own bed alone?
Hardly. She doesn't like sleeping alone, and she doesn't like the living room. It's too big, too quiet. She says it'd be too dark, and then there would be spiders. She would see spiders, so.
So you say hardly. Were there ever nights where she just slept alone in her bed? Or is it 100%? Because there's a difference between hardly ever and 100% to me.
If she ever slept on that bed, it was like once.
All right. So now you've broken up with Stefan in December of 2022, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's still paying rent, and he's there full-time in bedroom number 4. Is that where he goes after you break up?
No. He stayed in my room for a few months. We'd broken up, but we weren't sure how to discuss it with Maddie because it was the beginning, it was the middle of the school year, and I didn't want to affect her in any way.
Mm-hmm.
So we just
You wouldn't want to hurt her.
it off. Acted like everything was normal and fine for the first 6 months, and then eventually she caught on. And then once she did, we admitted to her that we were broken up. And then, at that point is when he moved up to bedroom 4.
Okay. And once he moved up to bedroom 4, were there instances where Madeline would sleep alone upstairs with him?
I'm gonna say
Say the truth.
I want you to think carefully before you answer, because obviously we've gone through your phone and we've seen all the conversations that you've had with Stefan. So it's clear that that's occurring. So I'm giving you the chance to answer the question.
yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how many times it's happened.
Okay. Why are you allowing that to occur?
I saw Stephen as someone that I completely trusted with my life, my child's life. I thought he had cared for her as a father would. He had been in her life for more than half of it, playing the father role. I thought he cared for her the way I did.
Now, does there come a point in time in 2023 where you've kind of had enough of roommate ex-boyfriend Stefan and ask him to hit the road?
Yes.
And is that fair to say it was like October?
maybe yeah, like the end of October, because then I gave him all of November and told him he had to be out by December 1st, kind of thing. But yeah, that sounds about right.
And then did you kind of ask him to leave a month earlier, and it was a source of arguments?
Yes.
So now at this point in time, when he's being asked to leave, have you had any conversation with Maddie that mommy isn't together with Stefan anymore, and this is kind of the ways of the world? Do you have that conversation with her?
She had by June. She figured it out already, so she knew we weren't together or anything like that. So she, by December, yeah, she had already known he was leaving, and
Okay.
but that was it.
Why is he coming back to visit after he's out?
He is with a girlfriend.
We're still friendly with each other at this point. Christmas is coming up, and we wanted to spend Christmas together. So he comes up for a few days during Christmas, and then he does visit a few more times after that, but for the day.
Maybe he groomed the hell out of her too, coming back for Christmas even when they're already broken up. He didn't want to be apart from Madeline, so I don't know. I feel like there was some grooming on Jenn going on also, because I don't think that she's the brightest bulb in the box.
And it's to pick up packages. He keeps getting mail delivered to my house, packages. So he comes up and picks them up. And we
So
wanted to spend Christmas together. So he comes up for a few days during Christmas. And then he does visit a few more times after that, but for the day. And it's to pick up packages. He keeps getting mail delivered to my house, packages.
why doesn't he come to
So he just comes up and picks them up.
And when he comes to visit after he's been kind of kicked out, is he paying rent, or how is this working, or is he just coming to visit?
He just comes to visit.
Is your father making any arrangements to rent bedroom number 4? Because this is his income that he's losing.
Yeah, we had it. We had like an ad posted to see if we can get any renters. So we were trying to rent it out, but then we had to stop.
And what happens if you end up renting room number 4? Is Stefan going to still come up and visit you and sleep in your bed?
I don't know. I hadn't even thought of it that way.
At one point, you told investigators that Stefan was, quote unquote, stuck down there until they could afford for him to come back. Were there plans for him to come back?
We had discussed him coming back and living with me. We weren't sure if temporarily or like for me to help him out with a place for a little bit before he can find a place and move out, or no. I don't know. I hadn't even thought of it at that point.
At one point, you told investigators that Stefan was, quote unquote, stuck down there until they could afford for him to come back. Were there plans for him?
Oh, sorry.
It would be my best friend who's helping me out with the child.
Because you told investigators that a lot of the reason your relationship fizzled off with Stefan was that your antidepressants.
Those moments of silence.
You had moved on to other people, had you not?
Yes.
And so despite having moved on with other people, you were still having Stefan come up and visit, and there were plans to cohabitate with him again, potentially.
Possibly. Yes.
Maddie had the opportunity to go visit her biological father in the fall out in Texas. Is that yes?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember texting the biological father, hope nobody touches Maddie or tries shit or films her under the bathroom? You remember sending that text?
No.
That's weird because wasn't Stefan filming bathroom footage in the townhome? Thought I heard that. Now, she may not know that they know yet. Why aren't you going now?
Orange County Sheriff's Office back in February?
No.
Because that seems like a very oddly specific thing to text the father. So you didn't know anything about what was going on filming underneath bathroom doors?
No idea. I don't know why I would have texted them.
June 16th of last year, about 9:30 p.m.
Oh, actually, I can't actually think back to that.
Okay.
I think around the time that Maddie was going to fly out to Houston, there had been an airline person that had gone into the bathroom and placed their camera on the toilet to film. And I remember thinking, I don't want Maddie, I'm afraid of Maddie being alone on a plane, because what if an attendant does that to her? It's like, hold on, let me fix something in the bathroom. And in reality, they're setting up a camera, because this did happen to a girl.
Okay.
So I want to say it may have been concerns over that.
Okay. Now, June 16th of last year at 9:30 p.m., 27 seconds, you texted Stefan this: Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean?
That right there. That's what I was saying was weird. That was a weird question. I can't risk it. What does that mean? Let's listen. I don't remember if she ever actually gives an answer. Right.
I have no idea.
How often was Maddie sleeping with you?
I have no idea.
Often, all the time.
You keep on saying often versus all the time. Was it 100% of the time or not 100% of the time?
If she wasn't with my mom and she was with me, then yeah, she was sleeping with me.
And if she's at mom, she's 100% of the time sleeping with mom?
With,
Your mom?
with my mom, or she does have her own room, I guess. Like there's another spare room she could use, but for the most part, she prefers to sleep with mom.
Okay. Now, my understanding is that you had some sort of period tracker that you kept track of Madeline's period with?
I had a calendar app that I would write what days she would get her period, yeah.
And obviously, Madeline doesn't have a job, so she's not going out and buying the products that she would need if she had her period, right? You would have to do that for her?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
So, do you remember her using any of those products at all in February? Because I assume you take the trash out, or does she take the trash out, or how does all this work?
I take the trash out. In February, no, I didn't notice her using any of her feminine hygiene products.
Did you have any conversations with her about that?
No, but I didn't notice until after everything.
Because it would have been due like at the beginning of February, and this all happens at the end of February, so she's almost due again in March. So you never had any conversations with her about not having her period at the beginning of February?
No, she's had other periods that have been missed or like super late, so I just assumed this was going to be one of those situations again.
Okay.
But no, I didn't.
Did you ever discuss her periods or lack of periods with Stefan?
I don't think so.
It's my understanding that Maddie had to take Miralax. I'm familiar with that myself because of my daughter when she was little. So she had constipation issues?
Yeah.
Would it ever cause her discomfort, physical pain, bleeding?
Yes.
And how are you aware of that?
She would tell me. There have been moments. So we've gone to doctor's appointments. They've run a lot of tests on her. They told me why her body is doing what it's doing. But she's shown me if there was blood, or if she's in the bathroom and she just can't go, like it's stuck.
Mm-hmm.
She showed me that too. So
did she ever specifically seek treatment for tears or bleeding or anything due to her bowel movements?
no, I don't think so. Tears or anything like that. No. I don't think there was ever a here.
On February 26th, the whole purpose of Stefan coming and taking Madeline to school was so that you could get some sleep. You had missed your medications Saturday night, so on and so forth, right?
Yes.
Is there any particular reason Stefan couldn't have driven your car to take Madeline to school and therefore not embarrass her and he could just drop her off normally?
Yes, but because he's not on my car insurance, I was very nervous to let him drive my car.
You did let him drive your car after this occurred, though, right?
Yes, but he was very insistent because he wanted to go look for Manny, and he had a spare on his car because he had a flat, so he couldn't drive his car. So he just really wanted to go out. So I just let him, but I wasn't comfortable with it.
During your previous interviews, and you did it once today, you kind of interchanged.
So late at night, he did borrow her car to go look for Maddie, even though he knew where she was. What, if anyone knows, or has any thoughts on that, do you think he was doing in that time? Was he revisiting the site to like hide her better, or like what are we thinking? Because I'm not sure.
We, or Stefan dropping Madeline off at school. Did you see Madeline at all on February 26th, 2024, that Monday? Do you know anything about how she died? Did Stefan tell you anything about how she died? Did Stefan tell you about his plans to go back down to Northport in your car that Wednesday morning? Got any questions, Mark? Yeah, we're getting close.
I'm going to jump through because I'm making notes as we're going on. So how frequently did Stefan come up here after he moved back?
Okay. Well, that's it for the interview uninterrupted with me. I do have it posted on my channel a few videos back. If I remember, I will link it down below. And that's the full interview from beginning to end, if you want to listen to that, if you haven't already. But let me know your thoughts. I know a lot of people think Jennifer Soto should be arrested. And let me know your thoughts kindly. And let me know why. Like, not just because throw in the slammer, she's worthless. Like, give me a thoughtful response. Tell me why, what crime you think she committed, or just because they have not found her guilty or they don't suspect her of any criminal activity. She hasn't done anything illegal. We can argue that she's at least at minimum guilty of neglect, but to what we didn't investigate it. We're not the police. So I'm just wondering what everyone thinks, what everybody's thought process is on the Jenn Soto situation, because I know a lot of us are stunned. I'm not stunned. I did not think she was going to be charged with anything. I really did not. I don't think that she's a witness for the prosecution. I don't think she made a deal, because I don't think that they need her. I really don't think they need her with what they have on Stefan. And maybe they do need her. I don't know, but I don't think she's a witness for the prosecution. I don't think they need her for that. Stefan is, at the very least, he's going away for life, because there's no way to dispute the CP charges and what he's done to Madeline. Maybe with the unalivened, they might have a fighting chance. I don't see it. I think they're going to find him guilty of that as well. And I think it's going to be another Wade Wilson case. I think that they're going to give him the ultimate sentence. And I'm never happy. I don't get any enjoyment out of that. A lot of people get off on that. They're like, yeah, death penalty. I don't get enjoyment out of that. Not because I care about him, but because, this should never happen. This should have never happened. So, but I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to everyone later. Bye.